So hey guys, welcome back to channel, and today again we are going to review a movie, and today's movie is The Dictator that came in 2012. And in this video we are doing full movie review, and we are talking about its fact. We are analyze this movie, so let's do it. Firstly, start with its introduction, a satirical comedy with the bold political age. The Dictator, it's a satirical comedy film directed by Larry Charles and starring the legendary comedian Sacha Cohen, known for his uh, sharp satire and boundary pushing humor. Cohen portrays General Aladdin, the flamboyant and ruthless dictator of the fictional North African country of Asia, and we talk about blending political satire, slapstick comedy, and social dictator aims to parody authorities, regimes, highlight issue of freedom and democracy, and tampon stereotypes about dictatorial leaders. Although Cohen's signature outrageous humor, this compensatory will delve into every aspect of the film, from its plot and themes to behind the scene stories, reception, and cultural significance. And if we talk about plot summary and narrative structure, firstly talk about the film follows General Aladdin, ruthless and eccentric dictator of Badia, fictional North African country Chinwal. His regime is built on corruption, oppression, and absurdity. When Aladdin travels to New York to address the United Nations, his plans are derailed by internal betrayal, leading to a series of comic misadventures. He is kidnapped, shared, mauled, mistakenly believing he is being assassinated, and escaped to New York, where he must navigate the modern world, face his own political downfall, and ultimately learn what true leadership and freedom mean. And if we talk about key plot points, introduction to Vadia, the film. The film opens with Aladdin's oppressive regime showcasing his eccentricity, authoritarian antics, and bizarre policies, including banning lizards, forcing women to wear veils, and executing opponents, overthrow and kidnapping Aladdin's political rivals, conspire to replace him, leading to his kidnapping by a treacherous advisor. Talk about saving and mistaken identity. The kidnappers mistake Aladdin for dead, save him bald, and replace him with a look-alike, aiming to install a more Western-friendly puppet ruler. We talk about arrival in New York. Aladdin's escape assumes a new identity and tries to reclaim his throne. If we talk about romantic subplot, he develops a feeling for joy, and a Faris, a human rights activist who opposes his regime. And if we talk about political regulation and transformation, through a series of comedy and often absurd events, Aladdin begins to question his dictatorship, embracing democracy and human rights. Toward climactic confrontation, he returns to Vadia, confronts his enemies, and ultimately chooses to relinquish power and pursue a more genuine leadership style. We talk about main character and performance. If we talk about General Aladdin, Sacha Cohen, caricature of authoritarian dictator Aladdin is flamboyant, unapologetically crude, and absurdly self-absorbed. His over-the-top personality satirizes if you talk about Cohen performance is characterized by improvisation, physical comedy, and biting satire. Yeah. We talk about joy and Faris, or compassionate, and idealistic human rights activist who challenges Aladdin's worldview. A relationship with Aladdin introduced themes of empathy, change, and democracy. Talk about Tamir and Kingsley, Aladdin's treacherous advisor who plot against him. Kingsley's portal adds gravitas and humor through his sardonic tone. Let's talk about Clayton. We talk about other notable character, nuclear scientist, provides absurd scientist. So themes and satirical targets totalitarianism and dictatorship. The film lampoons the absurdity, brutality, and vanity of authoritarian regimes. It critiques the cult of personality surrounding dictators. To Western stereotypes and cultural class. The clash between Aladdin's regime and Western democracy highlights cultural misunderstanding and stereotypes. The film parodies both authoritarianism and the superficial aspect of Western culture. We talk about freedom and democracy. The narrative contrasts oppressive rule with the ideals of freedom, human rights, and democracy. Aladdin's journey symbolizes a critic dictatorship and an exploration of genuine leadership. If you talk on media and propaganda, the film satirizes how resumes, unified media, and public perception. The absurdity of propaganda and censorship is exaggerated for comedic effect. Profit of humor and political critique. The film implies self-humor, satire, ridiculous, takes real-world issues like corruption, censorship, and human rights abuses. We talk about production details and behind the scene. We talk about development and inspiration. Cohen's previous success with like and he said the stage for the Dictator. The film by real life dictatorship and from the figure learning satire. Filming locations. Filming took place in the United States, particularly in New York City. Some countries banned or censored the film, highlighting its provocative nature. And if we talk about reception and box office performance, if we talk about critical reception, the film received mixed reviews from critics, but was generally praised for Cohen's fearless performance and versatile. Talk about Rotten Tomatoes score approximately 56% Metacritic, around 51 critics appreciated its humor, but noted that it sometimes highly and also values. To talk about audience reception, the film performed well commercially, crossing over 175 million worldwide against a budget of around 65 million. It found a strong audience in the US and internationally, especially among fans of Cohen's humor. To talk about award and nomination, the film did not garner major awards, but was recognized for its bold satire and Cohen's performance. To talk about cultural impact and legacy, satirical style and influence. The Dictator amplifies Cohen's signature style of blending satire with outrageous humor. It inspired decision about freedom of speech, political satire, and the limit of comedy. Without popular quotes and memes, if we talk about the famous quote include I like to see you, but I like to see you dead. I am the king of the kings, the lord of the lords, the prince of princes. In my country, we don't have people they can put to death. Controversial line. And memes and clips from the circulated widely on social media, especially Cohen's over the top antics. And if you talk about parody and influence, the film is often referenced in decision to political satire and parody. It influenced the comedy film that satirized authoritarianism and political corruption, talk criticism and controversy. Many criticize the film for its offensive humor, racial stereotypes, and insensitivity. Some viewed it as a crossing boundary. Could test sparking debates about the role of satire. Talk about fun fact and notable trivia. Talk about Cohen's preparation. Cohen studies detailed species and behaviors to craft Aladdin's mannerisms. Talk about improvised content. Many hilarious lines, including Aladdin's regarded declaration, were improvised real political figures, parodied the film reference, and satirized real world leaders and regimes, including Me America, Gaddafi, and Kim Jong-un. We talk about casting choice. When Kingsley's role as Tamil was a deliberate casting gives type, adding depth to the satire. We talk about controversial scenes. Some scenes, especially those with political or religious content sparked protest and censorship. To our final thoughts analysis, the Dictator is a proactive, boundary pushing comedy that uses satire to critique authoritarian regimes, cultural stereotypes, and political hypocrisy. Cohen's fearless performs and the film's outrageous humor make it a memorable cinematic experience, though not without controversy. It challenged audience to think critically about issue of freedom, power, and human rights while providing ample laughs along the way. Its legacy lies in its awareness and its ability to spark conversation on sensitive topics through comedy. If you have my thoughts and analysis, the Dictator is a provocative, boundary pushing comedy that uses satire to critique authoritarian regimes, cultural regime, cultural stereotypes, and political hypocrisy. Points fearless performance and the film outrageous make it a memorable cinematic experience. The not without controversy, it challenges the audience to think critically about issue of freedom, power, and human rights when providing simple law along the way. Its legacy lies in its boldness and its ability to spark conversation on sensitive topics through comedy. Let's talk about more. We talk about the Dictator 2012, the ultimate in-depth movie review, facts and cultural analysis. We talk about a bold satirical statement in modern cinema. The Dictator stands as one of Sacha Cohen's most provocative and daring films, known for his fearless approach to satire. Cohen takes on the role of General Aladdin, a fictional North African dictator, in a film that combines slapstick humor, political parody, social critique, and outrageous comedy. The film aims to become authoritarian, resumes challenges stereotypes and provoke the thought about issues like freedom, democracy, and human rights, all through a lens of irreverent humor that often pushes boundaries. This comprehensive review will explore every facet of the film from subject plot, point, character dynamics, thematic tones, production, anecdotes, critical reception, cultural influence, and ongoing legacy. Talk about origins and development of the Dictator. Inspiration and conceptual. We talk about inspiration and conceptual foundation. Sacha Cohen's The Dictator was conceived as a satirical response to the proliferation of authoritarian regimes and the global fascination with powerful dictator. Cohen, already famous for creating characters like Borat and Ali, wanted to craft a character that would be a caricature of the most extroverted aspect of dictatorial rulers, vanity, brutality, absurdity, and narcissism. The idea was good. The idea was to parody some of the most notorious dictators in history, Muammar Gaddafi, Kim Jong-un, Saddam Hussein was also making a broader statement on the nature of power and corruption. The film's structure was designed to be proactive and unpredictable, with Cohen's improvisation often leading to some of the film's most memories, memorable moments. The screenplay was initially controversial, aiming to offend some viewers while shining a light on the absurdity of autocratic regimes. Toward casting and production choices. Cohen's casting as Aladdin was deliberate. His physical comedy, improvisational skill, and fearless comedic style made him the perfect actor for such an outrageous role. The supporting cast included well-known actors like Ben Kingsley, John C. Reilly, Faris, and Megan Fox, chosen for their ability to blend into funny satirical universe. The production aimed for authenticity by filming in real locations, including Morocco and New York City, to give the film an authentic feel. If we talk about filming and behind the scene dynamics, filming took place in various locations with some scenes shot on location in Morocco to add realism to the fictional country of Badia. Cohen's method involved significant improvisation. Many scenes were developed spontaneously with actors encouraged to ad-lib. The film's provocative content led to some censorship and controversy, especially in countries sensitive to political satire. With our detailed plot, program, and thematic depth, through opening scene and stabilizing the regime. The film opens with a satirical portrait of Bardia's regime. Aladdin is a policies his narrative and his oppressive tactics. And now, if we talk about reception and box office performance, so first let's talk about critical reception. The film received mixed reviews from critics, but was generally praised for Cohen's fearless performance and bold satire. With over 10 Tomatoes score approximately 56%, Metacritic around 51. It overall critics appreciated its humor but noted it sometimes lagged on shock value. If we talk about audience reception, film performed well commercially grossing over 175 million worldwide, against a budget of around 65 million. It found a strong audience in the US and internationally, especially among fans of Cohen's humor. Top awards and nomination. The film did not garner major awards, but was recognized for its bold setting and Cohen's performance. It award cultural impact and legacy, satirical style and influence. The Dictator exemplified Cohen's signature style of flirting satire with outrageous humor. It inspired discussion about freedom of speech, political satire, and the limits of comedy. It about popular quotes and memes. It about famous quotes include I like to see you, but I like to see you dead. I am the king of kings, the lord of lords, the prince of princes. In my country, we don't have weighted gay people. They get put to death. A controversial line, memes and clips from the film circulated widely on social media, especially Cohen's over the antics toward parody and influence. The film is often referenced in messages of political satire and parody. It influenced later comedy films that satirize authoritarianism and political corruption. However, it is one controversy. Many criticize the film for its offensive humor, racial stereotypes, and insensitivity. Some view it as crossing boundaries of good taste, sparking debates about the role of satire. Now let's talk about a fun fact and notable driver. Cohen's preparation. Cohen studied dictator speeches and behaviors to craft arguments. When there is fun fact and notable area Cohen's preparation. Cohen studied dictators, speeches and behaviors to craft against Madrid. Provide content many hilarious lines, including adding exaggerated declares and were improvised. So a real political figure paradigm. The film references and satirizes the real world leaders and regimes, including Gaddafi and Kim Jong Un. Talk about costume choice. Uh, Ben Kingsley, role as Tamir was a deliberate casting against type adding depth to the satire. Talk about controversial scenes. Some scenes, especially those with political or religious content, sparked protest and censorship. And now let's talk about fine thoughts and analysis. The Dictator is a provocative, boundary pushing comedy that uses satire to critique authoritarian regimes, cultural stereotypes, and the political hypocrisy. Cohen's fearless performance and the film's outrageous humor make it a memorable cinematic experience, though not without controversy. It challenges the audience to think critically on issue freedom, power, and human rights while providing ample of along the way. It challenges lies in its boldness and its ability to spark conversation on sensitive topics through comedy. Let's talk about more. The Dictator, 2012, the ultimate in-depth movie analysis, review, and cultural examination. First, we talk about introduction. Uh, uh, Landmark of controversial satire in modern cinema. The Dictator, directed by Larry Charles and starring Sacha Cohen, is daring, provocative, and boundary pushing. As Cohen's third major character beside satire, After Borat and The Dictator pushes the envelope further, employing improvisation, shocking scene, and satirical exaggeration to make powerful statement about our corruption and social norms. This guide aims to be more detailed, complex, and extensive research on the film, covering every facet from plot, recipes to cultural application with deep insight into its themes, controversies, and legacy. Talk about origins, development, and creative genesis. Conceptual genesis inspired by real authoritarian figures like Muammar Muammar Gaddafi, Kim Jong-il, Saddam Hussein and other Cohen innocent character that could embody the most exaggerated satirical traits of dictators. The idea was to create a character who would be both humorous and measure to the absurdity of absolute power, highlighting how vanity, brutality, and narcissism often go hand in hand with tyranny. Talk about writing and pre-production. The screenplay has a blend of scripted scene improv and spontaneous reaction with Cohen's signature method of pushing boundaries. The film development involved extensive research into dictators' behavior, speeches, and propaganda to craft authentic yet exaggerated caricature. We talk about creative team Florence are known for moral and sinful to help craft the satirical tone. About casting and behind the scene dynamics, Cohen's casting as Aladdin was elaborate. His physical comedy, improvisation skills, and fearless approach made him ideal. Talk about supporting cast include own actors like Ben Kingsley, Thorne, Serially, and Faris, Megan Fox, and others selected for Their ability to blend into Cohen's outrageous universe. It also putting passing fully on actors like Van Caxes on serially and Faris, Megan Fox, and others selected for their ability to blend into Cohen's outrageous universe. Let's talk about controversies and challenges. The first bans censorship and protesting civil countries due to its provocative content. Many scenes were shot guerrilla style with Cohen and crew often pushing boundaries to elicit genuine reaction from unsuspecting passerby. The film's provocative nature was intentional, aiming to spark debate and challenge viewer perception. The film's provocative nature was intentional, aiming to spark debate and challenge viewer perception. The plot was seen by scene detail, obviously stabilizing the vision. The film opens with a parody of Guardia's oppressive regime, and drawing a political coup and kidnapping. Now let's talk about the political coup and kidnapping. Aladdin's internal rivals conspire to overview him, fearing his unpredictable behavior. They plan to assassinate him during his speech at the United Nations, but their plot fails, leading to his kidnapping. The kidnapping scene is a chaotic mix of humor and tension, with Cohen improvising as he is held hostage. The bald and displaced dictator. The bald and displaced dictator. The conspirators mistakenly believe Aladdin is dead and shame him hard. They replace him with a lookalike aiming to install a Western puppet to control Nadia's core resources. Toward Cohen's portrayal of Aladdin's disoriented state is both hilarious and satirical, highlighting how dictators often lose their power and images. We talk about the escape and arrival in New York. When escape creativity adopts a new identity and arrives in New York City. His cultural shock is exaggerated for comic effect as he navigates a society vastly different from idea. He encounters American medium, diversity and life relatives initially with disdain but gradually begins to understand their appeal. And talk about romantic and political encounters and romantic and political encounters Aladdin meets Joy and Harris, a human rights activist. Their evolving relationship introduced themes of empathy, reform, and the potential for general leadership. Meanwhile, Aladdin's interaction with other character reveals his underlying insecurity and vanity. The God climax and resolution returning to Wadia, Aladdin faced betrayal, social unrest, and political rivals. The world ultimately he chose to relinquish dictatorship, embracing democracy and human rights. The film ends with a humorous yet hopeful message highlight that true leadership is about serving the people, not ruling with fear. And we talk about main character and performance. Sacha and Rajesh, Sacha and Cohen, an exaggerated parody of Dictator, and brutality known for his flamboyant mannerisms, exaggerated aggression, and physical comedy. Cohen's improvisational prose allows for spontaneous, often shocking humor. Joy and Faris compassionate, idealistic human rights advocate. Our character challenge Aladdin's worldview, acting as a foil and catalyst for change. Harris brings a mix of sincerity and comedic timing to Tamir. Ben Kingsley, the Trillions Satanic advisor, plotting against Aladdin King, Cohen adds a layer of grim contrasting with Cohen's over-the-top antics. His character embodies political treachery and corruption. Robert Clayton Jones serially and twist early and comic foil. He is rabbit and deadpan delivery serving as a counterbalance to Cohen's outrageousness. With our supporting character, Megan Fox as the Warden Princess, parodying superficial glamour. Matt issue in a cameo adding cultural depth. Various Vadian official portrayed as full symbolistic types of corrupt ineffective leadership. About theoretic analysis and social commentary. Parody of dictatorship. The film exaggerates dictator traits, vanity, brutality, paranoia, highlighting their absurdity. It critiques the personality, emphasizing how narcissism and violence are often intertwined in messy regimes. Toward cultural stereotypes and Western perception. Cohen uses satire to expose and subvert stereotypes about Africa, the Middle East, and Western society. The film challenges viewers to questions preconceived notions, often flipping stereotypes on their head. It about democracy, freedom, and human rights. The narrative contrasts opposition with democratic ideals toward Aladdin's transformation symbolizes the potential for change and the importance of genuine leadership. Toward media and propaganda, the film satirizes how resume manipulates media censor, dissent, and propagate false narrative Talk about humor as a tool for social critique. Shock, humor, parody, and absurdity serve to provoke thought and challenge social comprehensive. Cohen's fearless comedy aims to spark conversations about serious issues under the guise of entertainment. About behind the scene and production, and Dictator's Cohen's method and improvisation. Cohen often improvised lines, leading to spontaneous humor that was not scripted. Many scenes involve pushing actors and passerby to their limits, eliciting genuine reaction. Talk about censorship and some scenes often religious. Now let's talk about casting and notable women. Talk about filming location and techniques. Filming in Morocco and intensity to the fictional guardian. Guerrilla style filming meant many scenes were shot without permits, adding realism toward critical and commercial reception. Our critical review and analysis leads to positive reviews. Praised for Cohen's fearless performance and satirical daring. Focus on reliance on shock humor and stereotypes. Rotten Tomatoes score approximately 56% and Metacritic score around 51. The audience and box office performance crossed over 175 million worldwide against a budget of approximately 65 million. Cultivated a dedicated fan base that appreciates its bold humor. Awards and recognition despite mixed review. The film was recognized for its cultural audacity. Cohen's performance was lauded as a force of improvisation, a bit about cultural impact and legacy influence on political and cultural satire. The film is considered a modern milestone in political satire comparable to classic like Dr. Strangelove. Its okay image inspired by the satirical works and internet memes. Tuggered quotes, memes, and internet culture. Tuggered famous line like, "In my country we don't have gay people, they get put to death. I like to see you, but I like to see you dead. I am the king of kings, the lord of lords, and the prince of princes." Robert scene of Cohen on the top and takes and become viral clips and memes. Film parody of Dictator has been cited in political debates and cultural studies. Influenced subsequent film the comedy act that focus on authoritarian regimes. Let's talk about fun and fascinating trivia, Cohen's strategic dictators, speeches, and behaviors extends to graph. Aladdin's memories. Many lines were improvised, adding spontaneity and sharpness. The film used guerrilla filming techniques to achieve realism. Scenes involving villages or culture stereotypes led to protest, bench, conscientious approach often put him in uncomfortable situations, but he persisted to the make his point. To talk about deep thematic and symbolic analysis of vanity and narcissism. Analyze how history, experience, and grandeur sidelines and dictatorial rulers is one shared passion to reflect the superficiality of power, power and corruption. The film exposes how absolute leading to absurd decisions and cruelty. The satire emphasizes that see themselves as above morality and law. Talk about cultural clash and stereotypes. The film explores the tension between authoritarian culture and Western values. It challenges stereotypes by reversing expectation. Aladdin's ignorance, for example, it contrasted with Western sophistication. The film explores the tension between authoritarian culture and Western liberal values. It challenges stereotypes by reversing expectation, allowing ignorance, for example. It contrasted with Western sophistication. Now let's talk about the illusion of control. Since the film advocates genuine leadership based on self-compassion and democracy. talk about final reflection and broader significance. The Dictator is more than just comedy, it's provocative social commentary wrapped in outrageous humor. It challenges viewers to confront comfortable truth about training, propaganda, and cultural stereotypes. While it certainly pushes the boundaries and has been criticized for insensitivity, its impact on political satire and comedy remains undeniable. Cohen's fearless performance and high charge direction create a film that is both hilarious and thought-provoking. A reflection how humor can serve as a mirror to society. Its legacy endures as a bold its legacy endures as a bold reminder that community, when wielded with courage and creativity, can cushion authoritarian cushion authority challenges and challenge paradigm. Let's talk about more. Now let's talk about the Dictator 2012 complete ultimate in-depth analysis, review and cultural commentary. October introduction, Verma, 'Human' satire, sim, and 'Dictator' 2012 film. 'Human' satire, 'Sim' 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 and 'Dictator Interpretive fiction. The Dictator stand as a provocative milestone in modern comedy, blending political satire, social critique, and outrageous humor to challenge perception of authoritarianism and cultural stereotypes. Western hypocrisy created by such a forum. Cohen, Charles, and talented team of parrot and improviser who seeks to entertain while seriously pointing views reflect on power, corruption, and social norms. It's daring scientific experiment that combines with shocking scenes and complex characterization, all wrapped in Cohen's significantly less approach to comedy of his multifaceted its source of laughter, controversy, debate, and cultural impact. This comprehensive guide aims to pursue a respect of the film meticulous, improving its origin development, plot, character, themes, production, and plots, critical section, controversies, cultural influence, and lasting legacy. Without script and improvisation, the script was a loose blueprint. Much of Cohen's performance involved improvisation, spontaneous reaction, and unscripted interactions. The creative team served dictators, speeches, propaganda, and behavior to craft authentic but exaggerated caricatures. The film's structure was intentionally provocative with scenes designed to elect shock, laughter, and reflection. With our casting and creative choice, Cohen, Cohen was cast in the lead role because of his vulnerability to embody outrageous character and push boundaries. Supporting roles include actors like Van Kingsley, John Shirley, Anna Faris, and Megan Fox. Chosen for their comedic versatility and ability to blend into Cohen's satirical universe. The filming location Marco in New York City and Berlin realism and authenticity. Our production challenge and controversy. So it was review of this movie. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.